You see the future you want with clarity. The vision feels close and familiar. You revisit it often and believe it belongs to you. Yet your days drift. Distraction replaces focus. Time disappears into comfort. Each night ends with regret and another promise to change. This pattern follows a learned response. Your brain chooses ease over effort and repeats it through habit. Ambition stays active while action stays absent. This audiobook interrupts that cycle. It explains why clear goals still lead to delay. It reveals how avoidance forms and how movement begins through small, deliberate actions. Chapter 1. The Dreamer Who Does Not Move. Vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision is a nightmare. Japanese proverb. B. You are not confused about what you want. That is the first truth you must hear. You see it, not vaguely, not loosely. You see it with detail, color, emotion. You see the life, the impact, the freedom, the version of yourself who stands taller and breathes deeper. Your mind knows where you want to go, and yet your body does not follow. You wake up with intention burning quietly in your chest. Today matters. Today feels important. Today carries promise. But then the fire dims. Your hand reaches for comfort before it reaches for creation. Your attention drifts before your discipline engages. Minutes slide into hours. Hours dissolve into regret. And by nightfall, you are left alone with a familiar weight. That quiet ache. The disappointment that does not scream. It whispers. You tell yourself you will do better. You promise yourself change. You rehearse a better tomorrow. This is a life of the dreamer who does not move. And I want you to hear this clearly, because it will change how you see yourself forever. This is not a failure character. This is not laziness. This is not weakness. This is a pattern. Patterns live in the nervous system. Patterns live in conditioned emotion. Patterns live in learned responses to discomfort, uncertainty, and risk. You are not broken. You are patterned, and anything patterned can be rewritten. Let us slow this moment down, because awareness is the first ignition point of transformation. You are ambitious. That matters. The dream inside you did not appear by accident. Desire is evidence. Longing is information. The vision you carry is proof that something in you is meant to grow. But ambition without movement creates inner friction. It is like holding fire in your hands without letting it burn outward. It turns inward. It scorches self-trust. It breeds guilt. Every day you delay, something subtle happens beneath the surface. Your mind starts telling a story. I should be further by now. Why can't I make myself act? Something must be wrong with me. And that story quietly drains your energy. This is how frustration becomes identity. But let me take you deeper, because the real reason you do not move has nothing to do with willpower. Your brain is not designed to chase your dreams. It is designed to keep you safe. Safety does not mean fulfillment. Safety means familiar, predictable, low risk. When you think about acting on your vision, your nervous system scans for danger. Effort feels uncertain. Growth feels unstable. Failure feels threatening. So your body hesitates, not because you lack desire, but because it senses risk. This is survival intelligence misfiring in a modern world. The same mechanism that once protected humans from physical danger now reacts to emotional exposure, judgment, rejection, failure, discomfort. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a physical threat and a psychological one. So it pulls you back. It whispers delay. It offers distraction. Scroll, watch, consume, escape. And every time you choose comfort over creation, the brain learns. Avoidance equals relief. Relief releases dopamine. Dopamine reinforces behavior. This is how procrastination becomes automatic, not because you want less, but because your system has learned to soothe itself through delay. And here is where the inner conflict deepens. One part of you is a visionary. That part sees a horizon. That part imagines legacy, impact, growth. Another part of you is a protector. That part wants ease. That part wants to avoid pain. That part wants to keep you emotionally intact. When these two parts are not aligned, paralysis is a result. You feel torn, pulled forward, and held back at the same time. This is exhausting, and exhaustion creates more avoidance. So you wait. You wait to feel ready. You wait to feel confident. You wait for motivation to arrive like a lightning bolt. But motivation is not a reliable force. It is a reaction, not a resource. Discipline is a resource, and discipline is not harsh. It is not punishment. It is devotion in action. But before discipline can rise, another invisible barrier must be named: perfectionism. Perfectionism is not excellence. It is fear dressed in control. You see the vision so clearly that anything less feels unacceptable. So you postpone starting. You refine plans. You polish ideas. You wait for alignment. But alignment does not precede movement. Alignment follows it. The mind says, if I do not begin, I cannot fail. The ego says, if I do not try, my potential remains intact. This is the hidden comfort of inaction. As long as the dream stays untouched, it stays perfect, untested, untarnished, safe, but also unreal. And deep down, you know this. That is why the guilt lingers. That is why the disappointment cuts deeper than fatigue. Because you are not tired of work. You are tired of betraying yourself. Every time you delay, your inner authority weakens. Trust erodes. Confidence leaks. Confidence is not built by thinking. It is built by evidence. Evidence comes from action. This is why people who start messy often feel stronger than people who plan perfectly. Movement creates proof. Proof rewires belief. Think about a fire being lit. It does not begin as a blaze. It begins as friction, a spark, a small, stubborn flame. If you wait for the fire to feel warm before feeding it, it will die. You must feed it while it feels fragile. Your dreams are the same. Action must happen before certainty, before confidence, before clarity. This is how the nervous system learns safety through experience. When you act and survive discomfort, your brain updates its map. It learns this is not dangerous. Resistance softens. The inner war quiets. But this only happens through repetition. Small actions, daily actions, unremarkable actions. 15 minutes, 1 page, 1 call, 1 decision aligned with who you want to become. Consistency is how identity is forged. You do not rise into a new self through grand gestures. You rise through quiet persistence. And let me tell you something most people never hear. Discipline feels uncomfortable at first because it challenges old patterns. Your system will resist. It will negotiate. It will produce excuses that sound reasonable. I deserve rest. I will start tomorrow. I am not in the right headspace. These are not truths. They are protective reflexes. And every time you move anyway, something powerful happens. You reclaim authority. You teach your brain that you lead, not your moods. You shift from reaction to intention. This is the moment the dreamer becomes a builder. Builders do not wait for inspiration. They create momentum. Momentum generates emotion. Emotion fuels belief. The order matters. Action first, feeling later. And when you fall, because you will, the response matters more than the fall. Do not punish yourself. Punishment strengthens avoidance. Compassion restores movement. Say, I return. Say, I begin again. Say, I am still in this. This is strength. The dreamer who does not move is not weak. They are untrained, and training begins now. You do not need to become someone else. You need to activate who you already are. Your vision is not lying to you. It is calling you forward. But vision alone is not enough. It must be met with motion, with friction, with courage expressed in small daily choices. Rise today, not with pressure, but with purpose. Do not ask yourself if you feel ready. Ask yourself who you are becoming with each decision. Take one step. Feed the fire. Move your body into alignment with your future. This is how the dreamer begins to move. And once movement begins, there is no going back. Chapter 2. The daily loop of avoidance. We become what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Aristotle. You wake up with intention. Not once, not occasionally, Every morning, there's a quiet moment before the noise enters where your mind feels clean, your body feels neutral, possibility feels close. Today matters, you tell yourself. Today counts. You feel it in your chest, a subtle pull forward, a sense that something different could happen if you choose it. And for a brief moment, you believe it. This is where the loop begins. The morning is not the problem. Your intention is not the problem. Your desire is not the problem. The problem is what happens next. Your hand reaches for the phone almost without permission, not because you decided to, but because your nervous system has been trained. One glance becomes 5 minutes. 5 minutes becomes 30. And just like that, your attention fractures. The mind that was clear now feels scattered. The energy that felt available now feels thin. And something subtle shifts inside you. Focus gives way to friction. Purpose gives way to comfort. This is not weakness. This is conditioning. Your brain is always asking one question. What feels easiest right now? Scrolling answers quickly. Easy pleasure. No effort. No risk. No exposure. Your nervous system relaxes. Briefly, dopamine releases. Lightly, the body says, stay here. And you do. This is how focus disappears without resistance. This is how time leaks without noise. You tell yourself you will start soon, after breakfast, after one more video, after you feel more awake. But the window closes quietly. By the time you look up, momentum is gone. The day has weight now. Effort feels heavier than it did in the morning, so you postpone again. Lunch becomes the new starting line, then the afternoon, then tomorrow, and the cycle tightens. What makes this loop so powerful is not the distraction itself. It is the emotional consequence. Because when night comes, it always does, you lie down with your thoughts. The house gets quiet. The screen goes dark. And there you are, face to face with yourself. You replay the day, not every moment, just the missed ones, the things you said you would do, the version of yourself you did not show up as. And the feeling arrives. Not loud, not dramatic. Heavy. Regret settles into your chest like fog. Disappointment whispers instead of shouting. You promise yourself again. Tomorrow will be different. I will wake up earlier. I will be disciplined. I will focus. And for a moment, hope returns. This is the most dangerous part of the loop. Because planning gives relief without progress. Promise gives comfort without proof. Your brain feels better without anything changing. This is how the loop survives. Morning intention, midday avoidance, nighttime guilt, reset, again, and again, and again, and after weeks, something deeper happens. The issue stops feeling like time management. It starts feeling like identity. You stop saying, I didn't act today. You start thinking, why am I like this? This is where self-trust erodes. Not because you lack potential, but because you keep breaking small promises to yourself. Confidence does not collapse all at once. It leaks, drop by drop, day by day. And let me be very clear here, because this is important. Your brain does not experience this loop as failure. It experiences it as safety. Avoidance keeps you away from discomfort, from uncertainty, from the possibility of discovering your limits. The nervous system prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar growth, so it keeps choosing what it knows. And the loop deepens. This is why sheer motivation never breaks it. Motivation rises, but habit pulls harder. Inspiration sparks, but conditioning extinguishes it. You are not battling laziness. You are battling repetition. Repetition wires identity. The brain does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you repeatedly do. This is neuroscience, not judgment. Every time you avoid the thing that matters, your brain records a pattern. Important things get postponed. Comfort comes first. Later feels safer than now. These messages shape behavior without asking permission. And then one day, you start wondering if you have lost something. Your edge, your hunger, your belief. You have not lost them. They are buried under habit. Think of a seed trapped beneath hardened soil. The seed is alive. It holds everything it needs. But the ground has compacted. That is your ambition right now. Alive but restricted. The loop is the pressure above it. And pressure without movement suffocates growth. This is why guilt feels so heavy. Guilt is not a sign that you are failing. It is a signal that your values are still alive. If you did not care, you would not feel it. But guilt alone does not create action. It creates shame. And shame makes avoidance stronger. This is why beating yourself up never works. It adds weight to an already heavy system. The loop does not break through force. It breaks through awareness and interruption. You must see the loop while you are inside it. Not at night, not in regret, in the moment of choice. The moment your hand reaches for distraction. The moment you say, later. That moment matters more than motivation. Because that is where power lives. Power is not dramatic. It is precise. It is the ability to pause and choose something slightly different. Not heroic, not extreme. Different. This is how the loop weakens. Not by attacking it, but by starving it. One interrupted pattern changes the system. 5 minutes of focused effort when you usually avoid. One task started imperfectly. One decision made without waiting for feeling. Your brain notices. Something changed. And when something changes, plasticity begins. Neural pathways loosen. Rigidity softens. Possibility opens. This is how time stops slipping. Time does not disappear. Attention does. When attention returns to intention, momentum is born. Momentum is emotional evidence. Evidence rebuilds self-trust. Self-trust restores confidence. Confidence fuels action. And the loop begins to reverse. Morning intention. Midday action. Evening satisfaction. Not perfection, progress. And here's the truth that liberates most people. You do not need to fix your entire day. You need to win one moment. One decision where you act instead of avoid. One moment where you stay with discomfort long enough to move through it. That moment is a spark. Sparks start fires. Fires reshape landscapes. Your life is no different. The daily loop of avoidance only feels powerful because it is familiar. Once you interrupt it, even briefly, it loses authority. You stop being someone who promises. You become someone who acts. Quietly, consistently, relentlessly. Tonight, do not promise yourself tomorrow. Choose one action now. Small, real, immediate. Break the loop once. That is how the day changes. That is how the mind changes. That is how you rise. Chapter 3. The Brain in Conflict. The mind is a powerful servant, but a dangerous master. Robin Sharma. Inside you, a silent battle is taking place. Every single day. You feel it when you want more from life, yet stay where you are. You feel it when your vision feels alive, yet your body hesitates. You feel it when part of you reaches forward and another part pulls back. This is not confusion. This is conflict. Two systems live inside your brain. Both are intelligent. Both are purposeful. But they are not aligned. One system is built for growth. It imagines. It plans. It stretches into the future. It asks, who can I become? This system fuels ambition. It dreams of progress, mastery, expansion. It sees potential like light on the horizon. The other system is built for protection. It scans for danger. It avoids uncertainty. It asks, how do I stay safe right now? This system values comfort, familiar routines, predictable outcomes, minimal risk. Neither system is wrong. But when they compete, paralysis is born. This is the brain in conflict. The growth system lives in imagination and intention. The survival system lives in sensation and emotion. When you think about acting on your goals, the growth system speaks first. It gets excited. It paints pictures. It fills you with possibility. Then the survival system responds. It does not speak in words. It speaks in feelings. Tightness, resistance, fatigue, restlessness. Your body reacts before your logic catches up. Effort signals uncertainty. Uncertainty signals risk. Risk triggers protection. So your system slows you down. not because you are incapable, but because your brain believes it is keeping you alive. This is ancient intelligence operating in a modern world. Thousands of years ago, hesitation could mean survival. Today, hesitation blocks growth. But the brain does not update itself through insight alone. It updates through experience. This is where habit enters the story. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, the survival system wins. Every time you avoid discomfort, it learns staying still is safer. Delay prevents pain. Ease keeps us okay. These messages wire deeply. Over time, comfort stops being a choice. It becomes default. You no longer ask, "What should I do?" Your body decides for you. This is why willpower feels unreliable. Willpower belongs to the growth system. Habit belongs to the survival system. Habit always wins when they clash. That is why you can want something deeply and still not move. Your mind imagines success. Your nervous system imagines threat. And the nervous system holds the steering wheel. This conflict drains energy. You feel tired without working. You feel stressed without moving. You feel overwhelmed by simple tasks. Because inner resistance consumes more energy than action ever could. Think of two horses pulling in opposite directions. No distance is covered, but exhaustion is guaranteed. This is what many people call procrastination. But procrastination is not delay. It is avoidance driven by emotion. The moment effort enters awareness, the survival system asks, "What if this fails? What if this hurts? What if this exposes me?" And instead of answering those questions, the system escapes. Scrolling, snacking, busy work, noise. Relief arrives, briefly. Relief teaches the brain something dangerous. Avoidance works. The brain does not care about long-term fulfillment. It cares about short-term regulation. So comfort-driven behavior repeats, and repetition hardens into identity. You start believing you are someone who starts strong but finishes weak, someone with ideas but no follow-through, someone who dreams more than they do. But identity is not who you are. Identity is what you practice. The brain in conflict creates a false narrative. It tells you that motivation is missing, that discipline belongs to others, that something inside you is flawed. This narrative keeps the survival system in control. Because if you believe you are broken, you stop trying to change. Let us bring clarity here. Effort does not mean danger. Discomfort does not mean damage. Uncertainty does not mean failure. But your nervous system does not know that yet. It must be taught. The only way the brain learns safety is through exposure. Small exposure, repeated exposure, survivable exposure. This is how fear loosens its grip. When you take action despite resistance, something important happens. Your body stays alive. Your identity stays intact. Your world does not collapse. The brain updates its map. This is uncomfortable but safe. This is hard but manageable. And with each repetition, conflict reduces. The growth system gains influence. The survival system relaxes. This is not about forcing yourself. Force creates more conflict. This is about training your system through experience. Think of forging steel. Heat alone does not shape it. Pressure alone does not shape it. Both together create strength. Discomfort plus repetition builds capacity. Avoidance keeps capacity small. That is why people who act feel calmer than people who wait. Action resolves internal conflict. Waiting amplifies it. Waiting keeps the brain arguing with itself. Action gives the brain a verdict. Even imperfect action settles the nervous system because movement signals leadership. Your brain wants to know who is in charge. When you wait for comfort to act, the survival system leads. When you act through discomfort, the growth system leads. Leadership creates alignment. Alignment creates peace. This is why discipline feels grounding, not restrictive, once it is established. Discipline is not control. It is agreement between intention and behavior. But at the beginning, discipline feels like tension because the survival system resists change. It will offer logical excuses. It will exaggerate fatigue. It will suggest delay. This is not sabotage. It is habit defending itself. you must expect resistance, not fear it. Resistance is proof you are approaching growth. When resistance appears, do not argue with it. Do not analyze it. Do not negotiate. Act anyway, gently but firmly. This teaches your system a new rule. We move even when it is uncomfortable. Over time, this rule becomes automatic. Comfort stops dominating behavior. It becomes a choice again, not a reflex. This is how inner conflict resolves. Not by eliminating fear, but by proving you can move with it. Courage is not the absence of discomfort. It is motion through discomfort. And the more you practice this, the quieter the inner battle becomes. The brain likes consistency. When your actions align with your vision, the system calms. Energy returns. Clarity sharpens. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. Intensity scares the survival system. Consistency reassures it. Small daily actions feel safer than dramatic change, and safety allows growth. Think of roots growing underground. They do not rush. They do not announce themselves. They push steadily through resistance. Eventually, the tree rises. The brain works the same way. When comfort-driven behavior dominates, life feels stagnant. When growth-driven behavior leads, life feels alive. Not easier, but meaningful. Meaning quiets fear. Purpose stabilizes the nervous system. This is why people with clear direction tolerate discomfort better. They know why they are moving. Your job is not to silence the survival system. It exists for a reason. Your job is to lead it, to show it through action that growth is not death, that effort is not danger, that discomfort is temporary, regret lasts longer. This is how the brain in conflict becomes the brain in coherence. When intention and behavior align, energy multiplies. You stop feeling split. You stop feeling stuck. You start feeling directed. This is a turning point, not when fear disappears, but when action becomes non-negotiable. Today, you do not need to conquer your mind. You need to move your body in alignment with your future. One step, one task, one decision made despite resistance. Let that action speak to your nervous system. Let it say, we are safe to grow. We are capable of more. We lead now. This is how the inner war ends, not with force, but with direction. Rise and move. Chapter 4. Dopamine and survival mode. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Abraham Lincoln. N. Your brain is always listening. Every click, every scroll, every delay, it is recording patterns. It is learning rewards. It is deciding what keeps you alive. This chapter is where illusion breaks. Because what feels good in the moment is often the very thing stealing your future. Dopamine is not pleasure. Dopamine is anticipation. It is a signal of relief. It is the promise that discomfort is over. When you avoid a task, your body relaxes. When you delay effort, tension fades. When you escape responsibility, your nervous system exhales. That relief is chemical, instant, reinforcing. Your brain says, remember this, avoidance delivers safety. Avoidance delivers comfort. Avoidance delivers relief. And relief feels like reward. This is where survival mode quietly takes control. Your brain does not measure meaning. It measures regulation. If something reduces stress now, it labels it good. If something increases stress now, it labels it dangerous. The brain does not care if the danger is imagined. The body reacts the same. So when effort appears, dopamine drops. When avoidance appears, dopamine rises. The system learns. Delay equals pleasure. Action equals threat. This is not weakness. This is conditioning. Every time you escape discomfort, the circuit strengthens. Neurons that fire together wire together. Soon, you're not choosing avoidance. Avoidance is choosing you. You wake with intention. Your goals feel alive. Your future feels close. Then effort enters awareness, and your system reacts. Your hand reaches for phone. Your attention drifts. Your body seeks ease. Not because you are unfocused, but because your brain is trained. Dopamine floods when you distract. Dopamine fades when you focus. Focus feels heavy. Distraction feels light. Survival mode loves light. In survival mode, the brain prioritizes immediate comfort over long-term creation. This mode evolved to help humans escape danger. Now it traps humans in delay. Your environment has changed. Your wiring has not. Your brain thinks stress equals threat. It thinks effort equals risk. It thinks stillness equals safety. So it steers you away from growth. Slowly, subtly, consistently. The danger is not one moment of avoidance. The danger is repetition. Repeated relief trains the brain. Each time you avoid, you vote for delay. Each time you escape, you reinforce the loop. Soon, survival mode becomes default mode. You do not feel lazy. You feel tired. You do not feel unmotivated. You feel numb. Because dopamine spikes without effort eventually flatten. What once excited you now barely registers. This is erosion. Not loud, not dramatic. Quiet. Long-term fulfillment erodes through inaction. Meaning fades when progress stops. Confidence shrinks when promises break. Self-trust dissolves when intention never meets action. And the brain adapts again. It lowers expectation. It numbs desire. It settles. This is how people wake up years later wondering where the fire went. The fire did not leave. It was starved. Dopamine without effort trains apathy. Pleasure without purpose dulls ambition. The brain begins to seek more stimulation to feel the same relief. More scrolling, more noise, more distraction. But the relief window shrinks. What once soothed now barely helps. This is why rest does not feel restful. Why entertainment feels empty. Why escape feels exhausting. Survival mode is not designed for fulfillment. It is designed for survival. And survival is the lowest level of human living. You were not built to merely regulate discomfort. You were built to create. Creation demands effort. Effort demands discomfort. Discomfort temporarily lowers dopamine. But here is the truth your brain has not learned yet. Action creates a deeper reward. Progress creates earned dopamine. Growth creates lasting satisfaction. Movement creates meaning. The problem is timing. Avoidance gives dopamine first. Action gives dopamine later. The survival brain chooses first rewards. The growth brain chooses delayed rewards. This is the internal divide. The key is retraining reward timing. You must teach your brain a new association. Effort equals safety. Action equals reward. Completion equals relief. But the brain learns only through experience, not logic. You cannot think your way out of survival mode. You must behave your way out. The moment you act despite resistance, something shifts. The dopamine does not spike immediately, but something steadier appears. A sense of agency, a sense of control, a quiet confidence. This is deeper chemistry. Serotonin rises with progress. Endorphins rise with effort. Oxytocin rises with self-trust. These chemicals do not scream like dopamine. They ground. They stabilize. They tell the nervous system, we are capable. This is why people who work feel calmer than people who wait. Waiting keeps dopamine chasing relief. Working builds inner safety. The brain begins to learn. Effort does not kill us. Discomfort passes. Action leads to stability. And slowly, survival mode loosens. This is not instant. This is training. Think of forging metal. Heat hurts. Pressure strains. But strength forms only there. Avoidance keeps you soft. Effort tempers you. When you stay in survival mode too long, your world shrinks. You stop asking for more. You stop risking growth. You stop believing in change. But the cost is invisible until it is heavy. Regret weighs more than effort ever did. The mind begins to replay missed chances. The body feels older than its years. The spirit feels dim. This is not punishment. This is feedback. Life responds to movement. Stagnation dims energy. Motion restores it. The brain wants leadership. When you lead yourself into discomfort, the system follows. When you surrender to relief, the system dominates. This is the pivot point. Dopamine does not disappear. It gets redirected. Instead of rewarding escape, You reward effort, small effort, consistent effort, daily effort. The brain loves patterns. When effort becomes routine, resistance fades. When action repeats, survival relaxes. This is why habits matter more than motivation. Motivation fluctuates. Habits stabilize. Your nervous system wants predictability. If discomfort appears every day at the same time, it becomes familiar. Familiarity equals safety. Soon, effort no longer spikes stress. It becomes neutral. Then, strangely, it becomes satisfying. Not because it is easy, but because it is aligned. Alignment creates peace. Peace does not come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from knowing you move forward anyway. This is the exit from survival mode, not through force, not through guilt, through self-leadership. Each time you act when avoidance whispers, you weaken the old circuit. Each time you complete a task, you build a new one. The brain rewires with repetition. The more you move, the less you fear movement. The more you finish, the more you trust yourself. This is a rebirth. Not loud, not dramatic. Steady. Fire does not need chaos to burn. It needs fuel and consistency. Your effort is fuel. Your attention is direction. Your future responds to what you repeat. Today, notice where relief steals your momentum. Notice where comfort delays your calling. Do not judge it. Let it. Choose one action you've been avoiding. Move toward it, slowly but deliberately. Let your nervous system feel the truth. You survive. You remain intact. You grow stronger. This moment rewires more than intention ever could. You are not trapped in survival mode. You were trained there. And anything trained can be retrained. Rise out of relief chasing. Rise into purpose building. Your brain will follow when your actions lead. Chapter 5. The Myths of Motivation and Perfection. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Jim Rowe. And you wait. You wait for the surge of energy. The moment when your heart beats faster, your mind clears, your spirit ignites, and then you will act. But that moment rarely comes, rarely arrives, rarely exists. You imagine yourself rising at dawn, unstoppable, laser-focused, doing the work that shapes your future. And yet, the day slips through your fingers. You scroll, you watch, you distract, you postpone. You tell yourself tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow is a mirror of today. Here's the first truth. Motivation is a feeling, a fire that flares and fades. It cannot build your life. It cannot carry you through the storms, the uncertainty, the moments where resistance feels heavier than the bed beneath you. Discipline is not a spark. It is a forge, a slow, deliberate hammering of choices that build strength, character, and momentum. Every time you act despite resistance, you build a muscle of discipline. Every small decision to start, to continue, to show up, shapes your brain, rewires your nervous system, and redefines who you are. Perfectionism is the enemy wearing a mask of excellence. It whispers that you must have the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect clarity. It is fear pretending to be high standards. Perfectionism waits. It hides behind analysis, behind preparation, behind the endless illusion of readiness. Do not be fooled. Perfect conditions never arrive. The mind will keep creating reasons to delay, to avoid, to protect the fantasy of who you want to be rather than stepping into who you are becoming. Think of every person you admire, every creator, every entrepreneur, every leader. They did not wait for perfect timing. They began imperfectly, stumbled, fell, adjusted, and kept moving. Thomas Edison's first light bulb burned dimly and failed repeatedly before it illuminated the world. J.K. Rowling's first draft were far from perfect, yet each line moved her closer to the story that millions would read. Your first attempt does not need to be flawless. It needs to exist. Discipline grows through repetition, not inspiration. It grows when you take the first step today, even if the step is small, awkward, and uncertain. It grows when you commit to showing up tomorrow and the day after. Consistency, not motivation, creates transformation. Now, understand this. Your brain is wired to avoid risk. It wants comfort, certainty, ease. The same part of you that dreams big also fears failing. It fears exposure, rejection, disappointment. And the way it protects you is by keeping you in motionless admiration of your dreams, not the work that fulfills them. This is a paradox. The mind keeps you safe by keeping you small. It preserves a fantasy while blocking progress. And it uses the lie of waiting for motivation, waiting for readiness, waiting for perfection to keep you trapped. Every time you postpone, the brain learns to link action with fear and discomfort and delay with safety and relief. Each delay reinforces the habit of inaction. Each avoided risk strengthens the illusion that waiting is protection. But waiting does not protect you. It robs you. Your future self is waiting for the courage of your present self. The life you imagine, vibrant, fulfilled, impactful, cannot grow in the soil of hesitation. It requires action, movement, momentum. Start small. Start today. It may be 15 minutes of focused work, one paragraph written, one phone call made. Small steps are still forward motion. Forward motion rewires the brain. Forward motion extinguishes the false safety of waiting. Forward motion ignites discipline. Every imperfect action teaches the mind that discomfort is not fatal. Every decision to act despite fear weakens the grip of perfectionism. Every moment you embrace doing over waiting, you reclaim power over your life. Imagine a seed trapped in darkness, waiting for perfect sunlight, perfect rain, perfect soil. It will never grow. Growth begins in imperfection, in struggle, in the imperfect conditions that challenge it. Your potential is a seed. Action is a light that breaks through. Discipline is not rigid. It is fluid, alive, adaptive. It bends but does not break. It forms when you consistently choose action over comfort. It strengthens when you forgive yourself for imperfection and continue anyway. You are not weak because you fear failure. You are human. You are designed to avoid risk, to seek comfort. But your potential demands risk. Your dreams demand discomfort. Your future demands action. Stop waiting. Stop believing that motivation will arrive like a storm to carry you. Stop letting perfection whisper its lullaby of delay. Instead, choose now. Choose the smallest act of courage. Choose the step that moves you closer to what you envision. Choose discipline over desire. Choose consistency over inspiration. Feel the fear. Act anyway. Fall. Rise. Repeat. Every small victory over avoidance is a hammer striking steel. Every choice to act despite fear is a spark that ignites transformation. Every imperfect step builds momentum that motivation cannot manufacture. Look around. Your distractions are illusions of progress. Scrolling, watching, planning endlessly. These are the mirrors that make you feel active while your dreams fade. Your power exists in action, not thought, not planning, not waiting. Action rewires your brain. Action shapes your character. Action births results. Remember this. The world rewards those who act, not those who wait, not those who dream in silence, not those who polish endlessly in pursuit of perfection. You are the architect of your discipline. You are the sculptor of your habits. You are the force that transforms intention into reality. So take your first step, no matter how imperfect. Take your next and the one after that. Let momentum build. Let habit root. Let your future self emerge from the ashes of delay and fear. Motivation will come and go. Distraction will always try to lure you back. But discipline, forged in repeated choice, in imperfect action, in courageous movement, will remain. Perfection is a mirage. Waiting is a trap. Action is liberation. Begin now. One step, one decision, one act of courage at a time. Rise, move, create. And in your imperfect action, you will find your true power. Your dreams are real. Your potential is vast. Your moment is now. Do not wait for the perfect fire to ignite. Strike the match yourself and rise. Chapter 6. Action before readiness. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. Napoleon Hill. You wait. You wait for the perfect moment. The moment when your mind is clear, your energy is high, your plan flawless. You wait for certainty to arrive like a messenger at your door. And while you wait, the world moves. Opportunities slip. Ideas fade. Time passes silently, a river that will never flow backward. Your fear is alive. It whispers, "Not now. You're not ready. You might fail." It grows stronger in the absence of action. Your imagination stretches the consequences of failure into storms, disasters, embarrassment. Your mind turns small risks into mountains, and you shrink before the climb even begins. Yet, here is the unshakable truth. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is a signal of growth. Fear points directly at the edge of your comfort zone. Step toward it, and the transformation begins. Every master, every creator, every leader you admire has felt the same fear. J.K. Rowling faced rejection after rejection, and yet she wrote anyway. Elon Musk faced public doubt, financial collapse, and risked everything, and yet he launched anyway. Oprah Winfrey faced ridicule, instability, and rejection, and yet she spoke anyway. Their secret is simple, yet profound: action before readiness. They began when the conditions were imperfect, when preparation was incomplete, when doubt lingered like a shadow. They understood that momentum is forged in motion, not in planning. That action, imperfect and uncertain, teaches more than 1,000 hours of thought. Your brain is designed to protect you from pain and uncertainty. It sees effort as risk, failure as danger, and will offer distraction as a salve. Social media, entertainment, endless planning, all feel safe. All are illusions of progress. But in reality, every second spent waiting trains your mind to fear action, to avoid risk, to choose comfort over creation. Contrast this with the act of doing. Any act, however small, however flawed. When you take a step, your brain receives feedback. Success, partial success, failure, all are lessons. Action rewires your neural pathways, strengthens your decision-making, and grows your resilience. Inaction teaches nothing. Waiting produces no learning. Waiting only reinforces the illusion that readiness is a prerequisite for greatness. Imagine a potter at the wheel. They do not wait for the clay to be perfect, the light ideal, the wheel flawless. They begin shaping. They touch, they mold, they correct. Every misstep becomes part of the process. Every imperfection is a lesson in motion. Momentum emerges from the motion itself. Your first attempt will be messy. Your first step will feel awkward. Mistakes will come. Failures will arrive. That is not a signal to stop. That is a sign that you are alive, that you are moving, that your potential is stretching. Do not let perfectionism stall your progress. Perfectionism is fear hiding in high standards. It tells you that you must wait for clarity, for confidence, for ideal conditions. The truth is, ideal conditions do not exist. Clarity comes through doing. Confidence grows through action. Conditions improve when you act, not before. Consider the story of Thomas Edison. He did not wait for a perfect understanding of electricity before building the light bulb. He experimented. He failed. He learned. Failure was feedback, not a verdict. Momentum grew through each imperfect attempt. Each spark, each error, each small success forged a final triumph. Your life works the same way. Action builds reality. Imperfect action creates progress. Momentum emerges from persistence, not readiness. Your mind will resist. It will tell you to wait until you feel inspired, until your energy is high, until conditions are flawless. It will remind you of the consequences of failure, magnify risk, exaggerate uncertainty. This is survival mode. Your brain is trying to keep you safe. But safety is not growth. Comfort is not success. You are not weak because you fear failure. You are alive because fear exists, and when you act despite it, you transform it into energy, into courage, into momentum. Start small. Write one sentence. Make one call. Take one step. Do not wait to feel ready. Do not wait for perfect clarity. Do not wait for motivation to arrive like a guest. Action itself creates readiness. Your first step triggers your second. Your second reinforces the first. Momentum snowballs. Fear loses volume as you move. The imagined consequences shrink in the face of reality. Think of a stream carving through stone. The water is soft, the rock is hard, the path unknown. The stream does not wait for the rock to yield. It moves, it flows, it learns the contours, finds the cracks, deepens the channel. In time, the river shapes the landscape. Your action is that river. Even imperfect steps will carve a path forward. Even small motions will reshape your mind, your habits, your life. The illusion of waiting is seductive. It tells you that planning, imagining, and preparing are equivalent to action. But plans remain thoughts. Imagination remains fantasy. Only doing produces results. Begin where you are. Use what you have. Take imperfect action now. Feedback will refine your steps. Momentum will teach you the rhythm of progress. Courage will grow with each motion. Do not fear failure. Embrace it as feedback. Do not fear mistakes. They are the brushstrokes of mastery. Do not wait for readiness. It will never arrive. Your brain will fight. Your comfort will resist. Your mind will conjure endless reasons to delay. All are illusions. All are shadows. Your future self waits for the courage of your present self. Act, even imperfectly, even hesitantly, even uncertainly. With each step, you are rewiring fear into confidence, inaction into momentum, hesitation into power. With each action, you grow the neural architecture of success. With each attempt, you teach your mind that discomfort is not danger. It is the fuel of transformation. Momentum is contagious. One small victory leads to another. Consistency compounds. Courage breeds courage. Action before readiness births results. You are not waiting for the world to change. You are changing yourself. You are activating potential. You are breaking the chains of fear and perfection. So begin now. Take the first imperfect step, then another, and another. Feel the energy of motion. Feel the fire of courage. Feel the power of transformation. Your life does not wait for readiness. Your destiny is forged in motion. Your potential ignites in imperfect action. Strike the match. Step forward. Rise. And in your action, your true self emerges. Not the dreamer who waits. Not the thinker who plans endlessly, but the doer who moves. The creator who shapes reality. The person who turns fear into momentum. Hesitation into progress. Potential into achievement. Begin now. The moment you take one imperfect step, the world bends toward your courage. Momentum will carry you higher. Your life will respond. Your destiny will unfold. Do not wait. Move. Act. Transform. Your readiness is created in motion. Your mastery is forged in action. Your future is born the moment you decide to step forward. Chapter 7. Building discipline through structure. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Jim Rohn. Discipline is not a feeling. It is not an occasional burst of energy, nor a fleeting wave of motivation that appears once in a blue moon. Discipline is the architecture of your life, the unseen structure that shapes every thought, every habit, every action. It is a furnace where your potential is forged, where your intentions are transformed into reality. You think you need motivation to move. You believe you will act when inspiration strikes. But that is a trap. Motivation is fleeting, a spark, not a flame. It rises and falls, leaving you stranded if you rely on it. Structure is a flame that never dies, the river that keeps flowing regardless of storms, doubts, or fear. Your brain craves consistency, not intensity. When you push yourself to extremes once, it applauds, but then it recoils. It will say, enough, rest, you've done enough today. But when you create a simple, repeatable system, 15 minutes a day, one call, one paragraph, one small task, your mind begins to learn a new pattern. It starts to expect action. It starts to crave growth. Every small decision you make, even when you do not feel like it, rewires your neural pathways. Your brain starts associating discomfort with progress. Resistance becomes fuel. Hesitation becomes motion. Think of the bamboo tree. For years, it grows silently underground, developing roots that go deep and wide. You do not see growth above the surface. It seems dormant, stagnant. Then one season, suddenly, it bursts skyward, 20 feet in weeks. Your discipline works the same way. Small, consistent action builds an invisible foundation. The results above the surface are the visible proof of what your structure has created below. Environment is the secret weapon of discipline. Your surroundings dictate your behavior more than your willpower ever could. A cluttered desk scatters focus. A noisy phone steals minutes that turn into hours. Distractions are silent saboteurs, luring you back into comfort, into avoidance. But when you design your environment to serve your purpose, action becomes automatic. Remove what tempts you. Protect your focus like a sacred ritual. Turn your workspace into a forge where ideas are hammered into reality. Your future self will thank you for every distraction removed, for every system put in place. Systems are the scaffolding that hold you steady when motivation falters. You do not rely on willpower alone. You rely on processes that make the right action the default, the natural choice. Set a time for focused work. Guard it fiercely. Close unnecessary tabs. Turn off notifications. Make the productive choice easier than the distracted one. Every system you build is a vote for your future, a declaration that your dreams matter more than excuses. Small actions compound over time. A single paragraph written today may seem inconsequential. A 15-minute task may feel trivial. But repeated day after day, week after week, they form a river that carves through stone. Momentum grows. Confidence builds. Skill emerges. Discipline is not in the grand gestures. It is in showing up over and over in imperfection, in repetition. Consider Serena Williams. Her power is not only in talent. It is in thousands of hours of consistent practice. Her discipline, structured and relentless, built a career that most dream of but few achieve. Every serve, every swing, every footwork drill was a small action, repeated with precision. You can build the same mastery in your life by designing structure that supports your goals, not by waiting for inspiration. The myth of willpower is destructive. You believe you must push harder, fight more, resist longer. But willpower is finite. It depletes. It falters. Structure, on the other hand, conserves energy. It automates success. It makes the right choice effortless. Your system becomes your ally. Your environment becomes your partner. Discipline stops being a battle and becomes a natural rhythm. Think about your mornings. Do you start with intention, or do you wait to feel like doing it? Do you let your phone, your emails, your distractions dictate your pace? Or do you create a structure that leads you toward growth every single day? The choice is yours, chaos or design, drift or direction. Every great life is built on systems. Your heroes, your role models, your mentors, they did not rely on spurts of motivation. They designed processes, set rituals, and repeated them without fail. They understood that your environment, your routines, and your systems shape behavior more than inspiration ever will. Imagine a fire. Willpower alone is a spark. It lights, it burns, it fizzles. Structure is kindling and logs. It feeds the flame, keeps it alive, and allows it to grow into a bonfire. Your small actions are sparks, but your systems are the fuel that carries them into light. Consistency is your secret weapon, not perfection, not intensity. Consistency teaches your brain, this is what we do, this is normal, this is expected. And as your brain adapts, resistance diminishes. The voice that says, I don't feel like it, loses authority. Action becomes default. Growth becomes inevitable. Take a moment and visualize your ideal life. See yourself disciplined, focused, productive, alive with purpose. Now ask yourself, are your current systems taking you there, or are they letting distractions win? If you rely on willpower, motivation, or random bursts of energy, your dreams are fragile. But with structure, with repeated small actions, with environmental design, your dreams are unstoppable. Discipline is a muscle. It is not built overnight. It grows through effort, repetition, and structure. A single act of showing up strengthens it. A day of intentional focus expands it. A week of consistent practice solidifies it. A lifetime of structured action transforms it into mastery. Your first step may feel small, insignificant, Your 15 minutes today may seem trivial, but each small decision is a seed, planted in the soil of structure, watered with repetition, illuminated by your attention. It will grow roots that cannot be shaken, branches that reach higher than you imagine, fruit that sustains your vision. Remember, discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. It is the ability to act regardless of fleeting emotion. It is liberation from the chaos of distraction. It is the power to live intentionally, to shape your life, to honor your potential, your environment, your systems, your small actions. These are your allies. They do the work when you cannot. They protect your time, your focus, your energy. They ensure that the right action is easier than the wrong one. Do not wait to feel motivated. Do not wait to feel disciplined. Start now. Design your space, create your systems, take one small, consistent action. Tomorrow, repeat. The next day, repeat again. Over time, structure becomes habit. Habit becomes character. Character becomes legacy. Look at your life as a garden. Your actions are seeds. Your systems are soil. Your environment is sunlight and water. Neglect any of these and the garden withers. Tend to them all consistently, and the garden flourishes beyond your imagination. Discipline is not rigid. It is alive. It adapts. It strengthens. It evolves. And with it, you rise above distraction, above doubt, above hesitation. You step into your full potential, moment by moment, action by action. So today, do not wait. Take one small step that your system supports. Design one process. Protect one block of time. Remove one distraction. Your future self will thank you. Your potential will honor you. Your life will transform. Discipline is the bridge. Structure is the path. Every step, no matter how small, carries you closer to the life you envision. Build it now, brick by brick, habit by habit, moment by moment. And with each action, watch yourself rise, stronger, freer, unstoppable. Your life, your legacy, your destiny. It is built through structure, reinforced through consistency, ignited by action. Discipline is waiting for no one. It is forged by those who take the first step and the next and the next. Stand up. Design your system. Take your action. Your disciplined life begins now. Chapter 8. Compassion and Persistence. Success is not built on success. It's built on failure. It's built on frustration. Sometimes it's built on catastrophe. Sumner Redstone. You step into the arena. You try. You push. You reach. And immediately, discomfort greets you, a sharp internal friction. Your body tightens. Your mind hesitates. Your heart questions whether this path is worth the struggle. You are not failing. You are beginning. Every great transformation starts here, in that tension, in that resistance, in the uneasy fire of your first effort. Early effort is heavy because your brain does not yet trust action. Your neurons have rehearsed avoidance for years, making comfort your default. So when you attempt something new, it triggers friction, mental, emotional, physical. This is normal. This is your mind waking up. This is your potential knocking on the door of reality. Do not shrink from it. Do not shame yourself for it. Lean into the resistance. It is a soil in which your strength will root. Persistence begins in the micro moments. 15 minutes of focus today. One paragraph written, one call made, one step taken. It feels small, insignificant. Your brain says, this is not enough. Wait until it feels better. But that is a lie. That small act is a seed. With each repetition, your comfort with discomfort grows. Resistance becomes familiar. Uncertainty becomes navigable. Action becomes second nature. Momentum begins to pulse through you like a river carving a canyon. Setbacks will arrive. They are inevitable. Plans fail, efforts stumble, progress halts. You might feel disappointment, guilt, or frustration. But here's a crucial truth. Setbacks do not define you. Your identity is not failure. It is not the mistakes you make. Your identity is built in the return, in standing up after you fall, in resuming the work when resistance whispers that you are done. Every time you return to action, you reinforce a new truth. You are persistent. You are resilient. You are unstoppable. Self-compassion is a companion of persistence. If you berate yourself for early discomfort or imperfect effort, you sabotage momentum. Guilt is a trap. Shame is a weight. Instead, treat yourself as the apprentice you are. Honor the courage it took to begin. Celebrate the return after every pause. Speak to yourself with the patience of a mentor, the encouragement of a friend, the faith of someone who knows you are capable of growth. Consider Thomas Edison. His laboratory smelled of burnt wires, chemicals, and repeated failures. He did not declare himself a failure. With every explosion, he persisted. He learned. He adjusted. Each failure was feedback, not condemnation. Each repetition edged him closer to the light bulb. Not because he was perfect, but because he returned to effort again and again. Your persistence works the same way. Action, even imperfect action, rewires your brain. The discomfort of beginning becomes familiar. The fear of failure diminishes. The voice of doubt loses its authority. And through these small returns, you cultivate mastery, confidence, and self-respect. Your mind wants certainty, comfort, and safety. It wants to avoid discomfort at all costs. But here's a paradox. Comfort produces stagnation. Discomfort produces growth. Every time you choose action over ease, you teach your brain that growth is safe. Every time you step into resistance, you illuminate the path forward for your potential. Think about your daily life. Where have you waited for perfect conditions? Where have you held back, hoping fear would pass? Every delay is an opportunity lost, a seed unplanted, a river not yet flowing. Begin now. Begin imperfectly. Begin small. Begin consistently. The friction you feel is proof that you are alive. It is proof that you are becoming more than you were yesterday. Persistence is forged in repetition. Compassion is a shield that allows you to endure. They are inseparable allies. Without compassion, persistence becomes harsh, exhausting, and unsustainable. Without persistence, compassion becomes indulgence, a sentiment without motion, a kindness without results. Your first attempt may be shaky. Your second may feel clumsy. Your third may encounter external obstacles. Do not stop. Return again. Return with intention, with focus, with humility and faith. Every return reshapes your identity. Every act of persistence strengthens your self-respect. Look at athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or ordinary people creating extraordinary lives. They do not always feel motivated. They do not always feel ready. They act. They stumble. They return. Their growth is not in the ease of their journey, but in the rhythm of their persistence and the grace with which they treat themselves along the way. Imagine fire forging steel. The metal must endure extreme heat. It must bend and flex. It must survive the hammering, the sparks, the tension. Each strike is an act of persistence. Each moment in the flame builds strength. And each time the metal emerges from fire, it is stronger, harder, and capable of holding its shape against forces that would break softer material. You are that steel. Your effort is the hammer. Your compassion is the cooling, shaping water. Together, they forge you into someone unshakable, someone capable of transformation. Setbacks do not cancel your progress. They confirm it. Every challenge you face is a mirror reflecting the areas where your potential is calling for action. Every difficulty is an invitation to step into courage, to return, to persist. Do not internalize failure. Externalize it. See it as feedback, as growth, as instruction. Your persistence grows when you pair it with compassion. Forgive yourself for early discomfort. Celebrate the courage it took to begin. Honor the return after every pause. This balance creates momentum that is unassailable. Your journey is not linear. It is a storm, a river, a wildfire, a forge. Moments of discomfort, moments of clarity, moments of triumph. Do not let impatience steal the value of the process. The fire you endure today will illuminate the path tomorrow. Even 15 minutes of focused action, done consistently, reshapes the landscape of your life. Even a small step taken today compounds with every return. Even when progress feels invisible, the foundation is being built. Invisible roots of habit and resilience form in the quiet moments, preparing you for growth that will one day shoot through the sky like lightning. Do not mistake discomfort for failure. Do not let hesitation define your identity. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Your growth is in your return. Your courage is in your persistence. Your strength is in the rhythm of small, consistent actions taken with compassion for yourself. Visualize the person you wish to become. See them rising, moving with purpose, resilient in the face of resistance. See them treating themselves with patience and encouragement. Every step you take toward that vision is a declaration. I am capable. I am learning. I am persistent. Every return to action is a vote cast for your future self. Your self-respect is not built in moments of ease. It is built when you rise after discomfort, when you return after failure, when you persist without applause, without recognition, without guarantee. It is built in the private moments of commitment, courage, and consistent effort. So today, begin. Start with a small, imperfect step. Feel the resistance. Acknowledge it. Move through it. Return tomorrow. Return the day after. Return again. With each return, your mind rewires. Your courage strengthens. Your self-respect flourishes. The fire of transformation is lit in action. The forge of greatness is strengthened in persistence. The river of your potential flows through repeated effort. Your identity, your power, your future. It is forged every time you return to action with compassion. Stand now. Move forward. Persist with heart. Honor the discomfort. Celebrate the return. Your life, your vision, your greatness. All await your persistent steps taken with kindness toward yourself. Rise. Persist. Return. You are becoming. You are not who hesitates. You are who rises again and again. Your power lies in the choices you make, not the moments you pause. Awareness of your patterns gives you leverage over them. Action, grounded in self-respect, builds unstoppable endurance. Take one deliberate step now. Take another tomorrow. Consistency reshapes the mind, rewires the habits, and redefines the self. This is how the version of you who acts, who creates, persists, and conquers is forged. The transformation does not wait. The work begins today.